This podcast is intended for mature audiences and could be triggering to some. Please use discretion when listening. Hey everyone, welcome to Hearts with Jules, a podcast where survivors can share their story. But today it's going to be a little different. I have my best friend on the line with me today to discuss how she felt when I finally reached out to her and told her about some of the things I went through. Her name is Saba. We've been friends for almost 20 years. Isn't that crazy? Like, I don't even know how we even became so close, but I really appreciate you and everything you've done. You've always been there for me, had my back, and honestly, that's not easy to find anymore.
Jules, thank you for having me. I can't believe it's been almost 20 years and we've had this kind of friendship for the entire time. And I really don't know how we started to be friends. I just know that we clicked so easy. But I'm so happy to be part of this, part of your podcast.
Oh my God, are we gonna have a heart-to-heart moment for once?
Okay, come on now. You know how I feel about that heart-to-heart stuff, okay? But it is your season finale, so it's a big deal. And I'm so happy that I get to be the one to close it out with you, though. That's pretty cool.
Well, that means so much to me. And you know what? Like, I actually do have a question for you, though, because ever since I moved back, we never really sat down and talked about what happened.
Hmm.
Remember when did I call you? Like 2016 or 2017? Anyways, it was one of those years I remember finally telling you about what I was going through. And it's like I needed to say something like to a human who responds to me. And when I told you what I was going through, like how did you feel? Like what were you thinking?
So in 2016, when you first told me a bit about what was going on, I was shocked. I felt horrible for what you were dealing with, and the fact that you were far away. You know what I mean? You weren't living in the same town as me, so it's not like I could have just picked you up and like we could have just like talked about this in person and kind of figured out a solution or anything like that, or how to help you better. But literally, I was heartbroken. Honestly, I felt terrible for you, literally. And at first, I really didn't know what to say, as you can tell. I don't know if you remember when you first told me over the phone. I was super quiet. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because I was just taking it all in, and I didn't expect that at all. I really didn't think that you'd be going through that. That's the last thing I would have thought. One of the things I remember I asked you was like, how long were you going through that? And it took you a long time to tell me, right?
3 years.
Exactly. And so that part I was super shocked about too, because obviously me and you are close. We talk about everything.
Hmm.
And so I kind of was wondering, like, how did you keep that to your not I guess to yourself for 3 years? You know what I mean? Like how did you not like call me sooner or opened up sooner to me to let me know what was going on so I can help you?
Hmm. Yeah, I know. Like, I know I can come to you for anything. I know I can tell you everything. But the thing is, I kept getting promised like change. It was really hard for me in a way to kind of come to you sooner because I kept believing these false promises. And it's like, okay, if this person really changes, then it's like, just felt like I had to still protect this person's image, because of the what if. No matter how much pain this person put me through and how sick I am to my stomach, it's like, I don't even know why I was still thinking about protecting this person's image because of the what if.
It makes sense, but it's like for somebody who obviously is not dealing with that or going through that, um, it's hard to make sense out of it because for me on the outside, I'd be like, I wouldn't deal with that for a long time. Of course we're humans, we want to give people chances and stuff like that, but the fact that this person was, really putting you in bad situations, especially because, I think at one point too, like your mental health and health gets affected, right? And so it's like for me from the outside, I don't understand how someone could go through that for that long.
Mhm.
Um,
I was actually more embarrassed too, right? That this is not something that you would just tell somebody, hey, I'm being abused and I'm still sticking around for it.
yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. Honestly, it is it's a tough situation because you don't want
And
to feel. Yeah, go ahead.
no, and on top of that, like I was in the city, no friends, no family. It's like literally I just kept running back. Like I just believed everything. I just kept running back because I didn't have anybody else either.
I think too that's the part where people get manipulated easily because you're in a situation where it's like you don't have anybody else, right? So it's like,
Hmm.
I'm willing to, or they're willing to just say the things that you need to hear in the moment, to run back and give them opportunities and try something different, or maybe the communication needs to change and stuff like that. So you're trying everything and anything possible to hang on to something that is like, toxic.
Right. And I was just basically hanging on to like, but what if?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you though, how did you feel? Um, or what made you finally open up to me a little bit? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how did you get the courage to open up and not feel embarrassed or some type of way about the situation?
I think I remember like I reached out to you because I really had nothing left. I was going through so much to the point where I didn't know what to do anymore. You know what's crazy is that I actually remember calling my parents one day and telling them, I want to quit my job and move back. And like my dad didn't want me to. I didn't tell
Yeah.
them what was going on. Like I didn't tell them what I was going through. I just remember saying, I'm gonna die here. I'm stressed out and I can't be here anymore. I'm coming back. And then I remember calling you too. And the reason why I finally opened up to you is because I personally couldn't take it anymore. And before I even reached out to you, I was like in and out of the hospital. I didn't eat for 32 days. I was
Are you
living off
serious?
juice because I didn't
Oh
have
my
an
God.
appetite. I was nauseous. Um, like every time I thought about food, I wanted to throw up. Really needed to talk to somebody, and I'm tired of being surrounded by walls and just talking to nobody. Like I needed to vent. I needed to tell somebody what I was going through. I needed help.
Yeah, you're definitely in a very low moment in your life, and you just needed to open up. But I'm very happy that you were finally able to open up, even though it took you 3 years, and obviously for you to hit like super rock bottom, to finally stand up for yourself and be able to um defend yourself and make the right moves in your life, because you're doing amazing now. You know what I mean? Like every
Mhm.
time I see you now, you're here in the city. um just your whole energy is different. You're positive. You're doing great, first of all, with this platform that you have going on, not only with the podcast, but like for you to be able to help other people too is like, it must make you feel amazing. You know what I mean?
It does. It really does.
Honestly, like I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, even if you're dealing with something terrible. I honestly do believe that. I don't know if you do, but that's something that I think that this happened to you for a reason, and is to help other people, and you are
Mhm.
doing that, and you're doing a great job.
Yeah, it's crazy though, like how it's like when you're in this kind of situation, it's like you always think like no one's like nobody understands. So you feel like you're alone in it, or like maybe you like I was made to feel like okay, maybe I am complaining about dumb shit because that's what I was told. I
Yeah.
was kind of trained. And like this person normalized everything, or like all the abuse, and made it normal to me. But yeah, it's crazy to be able to kind of share your story on social media, and then next thing you know, there's so many people just resonates with it. Like I didn't even know that there were other people going through this. I thought I was the only one. And I remember like TikTok was kind of my way out. I actually like found out and heard about narcissistic abuse through TikTok. And if it wasn't even for that, I wouldn't even know what I was going through. Like I didn't even know it even had a name for it. I learned all of this through TikTok. And here I am telling my story and being able to help other people. Like it does make me feel, amazing because I know exactly what it feels like, especially when you have nobody. I was there.
It's crazy to think, Jules, that there's so many people out there that are going through the same things that you're going through and felt the same way about, being alone, not being able to open up to somebody, or feeling embarrassed. And the fact that, that you're able to like, touch so many people and just say like, whoa, like I'm not the only person.
Mhm.
Literally, it must make you feel good. Like it must like make you feel like I'm doing something right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't want anyone to go through that. If anything, I want to help them get out. This is really not a good feeling.
It's very sad, honestly. And to me, like I just never understood how like human beings can be so like toxic. And I don't know, I hate to using the word evil, but you know what I mean? Maybe it's just our personalities. Like we're always like kind to anybody. Like you don't I we don't judge people, you don't treat people like in a negative way and stuff like that. So I thought honestly like everybody was like that, but no. unfortunately not. And I learned a lot of stuff from you about this narcissistic personality stuff because I didn't think it was a thing, honestly. And so for me, I thought like people who act this way are just sick in the head or evil. You know what I mean? But that's
Yeah.
really not the case. It's really
Yeah.
not the case. So I can't say that.
Yeah, I thought the same way. Like I didn't know there was no like there was no name for this type of abuse. I didn't know what I was going through, right? Like I believe the whole like treat people how you want to be treated. Like I never thought about narcissistic.
Yeah, exactly. And for somebody like for me on the other end, because I've never experienced that, it's easy for me to say like or to think about. I did think about even when you told me about what you were going through. I was in my head. I was like, why didn't you just like cut this cut that person off, or why did you have to put yourself through that for that long? Like I was kind of honestly, I'll be honest with you, I was kind of upset with you and a little bit to be like, I was thinking like, what the heck? Like, why are you putting up with that? Like, why are you dealing with that? Like, in from my perspective, I would have just said like leave, like don't deal with that. But it wasn't that easy, obviously.
No, no, it wasn't.
You made me realize like it's not as easy as like packing your stuff and leaving or whatever. Like it's a lot more than that.
Honestly, it made life so much easier now though. Like I could recognize things far from a mile away. If I see something familiar, it's like, no, I'm not dealing with that.
Oh,
So
that's
I
good
guess
because
that's a good takeaway, I guess.
it is, and like I mean, yeah, you have your guards up a little bit, but for all the right reasons, because you don't want to have to deal with that kind of behavior anymore. You don't
Mm-hmm.
want to deal with that. You don't want to go through um that mess because it really took a toll on you, physically, emotionally, mentally, all of it.
Mm-hmm. You know what the good thing is?
Mm.
I don't really have migraines anymore.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. Remember the migraines I had
Crazy.
72 hours a week, weekly.
100% stress. Unbelievable.
I remember I was
See
always
what?
told, like, that doesn't do that to people. Stress doesn't do that. I was like,
Yeah,
get over it. You're just overreacting.
yeah. Well, look at that. I mean, honestly, you're like living proof. And stress does cause a lot of like health changes. So migraines to me, that's definitely. I believe that migraines could be related to stress. And look at you, you're not dealing with that anymore.
Right. Yep. Any other questions?
I did want to ask you though too, like how you always try to go no contact with this person, but they somehow by changing email addresses or phone numbers or something like that try to get in contact with you. How annoying was that for you,
It
and
would.
did it make it harder for you to move forward?
It definitely did make it harder for me to move forward because it's like, imagine you're healing, right? And like, you don't want to be thinking about anything that deals with this person. And then next thing you know, everything's going well, you're healing, you're getting better. And then boom, hey, remember this picture? We had so much fun here. I want to be like this again. You want to talk? And it's like, why would you even contact me and, show the good memories? But like, you've been a bully and abusive this whole entire time. And it's
Yeah,
like, why can I never heal in peace, right? And it's like, you try your best to stay no contact, but then we're human. Like you get curious. Sometimes you want to open a message, and then it's like this person will know you so well to get under your skin to make you respond. Like it's so hard to fight yourself, to stop
yeah,
yourself, you know?
yeah,
And you know me, like I text paragraphs. For me to even
yeah.
write all of it and then go, oh my God, I'm deleting all this takes a lot of effort. So it's
It
it's
does.
hard, and it's like when you don't respond to the text messages, next thing you know, you get an email. If you don't respond to that email, there's a new email, there's a new number. Like it's annoying.
It's
Like
just constant, and you're constantly having to battle yourself to, like you said, like you type something to respond, and then you're like, you know what, it's not worth it. But
exactly.
obviously that takes a lot of courage and just a lot of willpower. But you finally get there. You get to that point where you can delete it, or you can ignore it, or you can just whatever move on to the next type of situation.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
hard though, like it's like everything I've been through or what I was put through, and then next thing you know, a text message is like, it was all your fault. I didn't do anything wrong. It's like just to get me to respond. Like, why would you do that?
Crazy people out
So
there.
yeah, it's it's definitely hard. But like the thing is, I've been through so many cycles of the same cycle to the
Yeah.
point where it's so much easier now. I don't know if I'm numb to it or anything,
Yeah,
but like it honestly, it doesn't even mean anything anymore. I'm just
for
more
sure.
upset. Like right now I'm at a stage where I'm just more upset about time wasting.
Exactly. And the fact too that you've been through this for so long, like you start to recognize patterns and like stuff too. So obviously there's gonna be nothing for a few months and all of a sudden there's gonna be an attempt to try to get in contact with you suddenly. And you know what to do if that happens, which is
Exactly.
good. So
It's crazy though. It's like I would always like I work so hard to heal. I would always just throw it away to be like, okay, maybe one more chance. It's like maybe one more chance became 16. Like what?
yeah, exactly. And that's that's just you not putting yourself first ever. You know what I mean?
It doesn't
And
end.
just it doesn't end, but that's just your personality and the person that you are definitely made it more challenging because you always have been the type of person that will put other people before you regardless, you know?
Yeah.
And so um, I value that as your friend, but of course if people want to take advantage of you for that, it's easy because you're a nice person, and so it's like these people, they know how to like prey on like these nice people that will let them get away with things easier.
And that's exactly what happened. I want to say another thing. Like, I know a lot of people ask, like, what was the most difficult part? Like, personally, like, and for most, I would say breaking the trauma bond. Like, you're literally going through withdrawal. But another thing that I wanted to mention is I'm doing this podcast, right? I'm out here on social media trying to spread awareness, sharing my own journey so that I can let other people know that it's possible to get out. I didn't have anything. I didn't have nobody. I didn't even have TikTok back then when I was going through it. And this is another reason why I'm doing this. And for the people who's been listening to this series, if this sounds familiar and you start asking yourself, oh my God, this happened to me, or this is happening to me, then you really need to take a step back and really look at your situation. Like, is this what you're going to put up with or settle for the rest of your life? A lot of people stick around because the fear of starting over, but it's okay because it's better to be alone and single and happy than to be abused for the rest of your life without freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you have any more questions?
Of course I do. Doesn't this not feel like an interrogation?
It definitely
Because
does.
that's what it is. Exactly. First of all, yes, I do. How many followers do you have right now?
Last time I checked, I think it's at 305,000.
Holy crap, that's a lot. Did you ever think that you would like reach that much when you started this?
No, definitely not. I didn't even think I would even reach 100,000, but I actually reached 100,000 in 8 months. That's crazy.
That's insanity. Because I know how difficult it is, especially in that social media world, because like everybody has, you know, these accounts and stuff, and people don't get to that amount of followers easy. So obviously your content is like touching a lot of people, and making a difference for a lot of people that they're following you and they come back and watch.
Right. And I'm so happy to be part of, this side of the community just to spread awareness because I don't want people to, walk the same path I did.
Absolutely. And I know that you have like a lot of you're doing this podcast now. Obviously this is grand finale of season 1, but do you have other ideas in mind that are coming up? Because I feel like you're always like, I guess in this genre you have to be innovative and you have to like keep being creative and come up with more ideas and more videos and more. And I'll just say this: I don't know how you come up with so much content, but all your stuff is really good. And I'm not just saying that because I'm your BFF, but it is really good content that you're coming up with.
Thank you. Um, Honestly, it just like most of it just comes to mind, and then other times it's just like based on real life shit. And if I come across something and it resonates with me, I end up recording something about it, or I just remix it, or do something fun and new with it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So just before we wrap it up, though, do you have any other questions you wanted to ask me? It's your
Of
only
course
chance
I
now
do.
because you're not going to be
Uh,
able to ask me later.
of course I do. Anytime you ask me, do you have any more questions? I always say, yeah, obviously I do. Okay, as we're wrapping it up, though, I do want to know, and I'm sure everybody wants to know, like, how are you doing now? How are you feeling today?
Honestly, surprisingly, I'm feeling great. Like I'm doing great. I'm doing better than before. Um, I don't get triggered as easily anymore, but I still do get triggered like at times. It doesn't affect me as much. Like before, something would trigger me and it ruins my entire day,
Okay, that's
you know?
good.
Um,
Yeah.
like I said, I think I'm just numb to it. I'm definitely still healing. I'm not 100%. That's definitely going to take some time. Like,
Mhm.
this person literally put a number on me. So,
Of course, and like you said, it was for a number of years, so it's not an overnight thing that you're just gonna, get over it, right? You're
yeah.
human, um, and but I'm happy to hear that you're still healing, but you're doing a lot better, and I see that honestly. Like I said, I see a huge change in you from before, so that's huge.
hmm If what's crazy though is that after this whole experience, I've learned to kind of love myself. But after I learned to love myself, why do I feel a little selfish?
The reason why you feel selfish for kind of loving yourself first is because you're not used to that. You always put other people before you, and but that's not how life works, honestly. So I'm glad that you're starting to love yourself first, and you're gonna get used to it because that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm still working on right now. So just remember why I chose myself the next time when it comes between me and you. All right. So I'm not going to ask you if you have any other questions because I know you do, but I think we're just going to close it off here. But yeah, no, thank you so much for joining with me today. I really appreciate this heart to heart moment. We're probably going to have another one in person. Just an FYI. Anything else you would like to add to this?
No, honestly, but I'm like I said, thank you so much for having me and allowing me to be a part of this today, and hopefully you'll invite me back in the near future because I had fun.
Obviously, I will. Oh my God. Should we bring you in for every finale?
Maybe just to close them all up, eh?
Maybe. Okie dokie. I'll see you later.